to Yoga Shorts. Chantel is joining us today. I'm Karen, if you didn't already know that. This is your 30 minutes of yoga, just a little snippet, a short bit of yoga to kind of give you a little boost in your day. Let's start out today. We've got a couple blocks and a strap. I don't have a specific plan today, so we're just going to see where it takes us. If you happen to have blocks or a strap at home or a belt from a robe or a house coat, for those of you in Canada that use the word house coat like me, you can grab that and just have it by your side in case we decide to use that today. For right now, Chantal and I are just going to sit on blocks with our hips higher than our knees, just so that our hips can relax a little bit more. And we're just going to drop into the space and start to breathe. You can sit however you are comfortable. If you don't have a yoga block, you can grab a pillow or a rolled up blanket or roll up your yoga mat and sit on that. And then just start to become aware of your breath. Start to drop into the space, inhaling and exhaling. Begin to take those inhales and exhales through your nose. It'll help to calm your nervous system. Start to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system in your body. And then begin to relax the belly, breathing all the way down into the base of the lungs. Doing a quick scan of your body. Start to notice if you're holding any tension anywhere, or you have any injury or ailment that's speaking to you right now. Not with a goal in mind, not to change it, just to become more aware of it, become more mindful of where you're at right now in this moment. Relax through your forehead and your eyebrows. Relax through your jaw. Give yourself a little half smile to help the muscles around your ears and jaw relax a little bit more. And then we're going to take our shoulders up to our ears, squeeze them up all the way, roll them down the back so the scapula and the shoulder blades come down the back, and then descend the shoulders away from the ears. It should actually feel pretty good after having done that roll up. And then take your spine and lengthen it up towards the ceiling while keeping those shoulders down. And then relax the belly as you inhale. We're starting to stack the spine up a little bit higher so we gain more space in the torso for the breath. Relax through your hips. Closing your eyes. Notice if your hips, if you're weighted more into the right or the left, or if your body's tending to lean forward or backward. Again, not to try to change anything in this moment, just to be aware of where you're at. Maybe if you're sitting cross-legged, you're leaning towards one way because of the way that you've crossed your legs. Maybe you'd like to try to cross them with the alternate leg in front to see if that changes the weight displacement in the hips. Just to be aware. The calves and the shins come in contact with the floor. Maybe noticing the temperature, the sensation changes between the types of the floor that they're on or the clothing that you happen to be wearing. And then if your eyes are closed, you can go ahead and open them softly. And we are going to grab our straps. I'm going to pass Chantel hers because it's a little bit far away. You can stay in your comfortable seat. If you feel like you've been here long enough and you want to change up how you're sitting, go ahead and do that. We're going to take the strap and hold it out quite wide. And then on our inhale, we're going to take the strap up above our head. Keep the arms nice and straight. Elbows do not have a bend. As you exhale, take the strap down below you. You will notice right away if you have not grabbed wide enough because you won't be able to get it back. And then on the inhale, taking the strap up, just starting to warm up through the shoulders. Exhale, take the strap down towards the floor. And then just following your own breath. We're going to do this for about 5 or 6 breaths, trying to get the sticky parts out of our shoulders. See if you can keep those shoulder blades down the back as you go through this movement, and try to keep both arms moving at the same time so you're not moving forward with the right and bending the elbow and then coming forward with the left. We want everything to be like a big triangle from your breastbone to your fists at either end of the strap. We're just hinging back and forth. Inhaling as we come up, following your own breath, not going in any sort of sequence, exhaling as you go down. Notice now that we've done 3 or 4 that hopefully things are starting to feel a little bit better in your body. And maybe you can take your arms a little bit closer together, holding the strap a little bit narrower. Maybe you feel like this is enough, and that's okay. Then just stay here. Notice if your body shifts, if your ribs shift as you're moving back and forth. Oftentimes as we take our arms back behind us, the ribs will pop out and we'll dump into the lower back a little bit. Try to keep that nice and stable so you're lengthening through the crown of your head as you bring your arms up and down in front and behind. I'm going to do one more just like this. Back and forth until you end up in a position where the strap is in front of you. And then with your strap, we're going to take it and we're going to wrap our strap. I'm going to stand up so that you can see what I'm doing. Chantal can stay sitting. We're going to take the blocks or pillows, whatever you've been sitting on, away from your mat. And we're going to take the strap and we're just going to wind it around our legs a couple of times. We're not going to tie it, just so our shins are close together. And Chantal's done this before. We're going to tuck our toes behind us on our knees. So I'll go from the side so you can see tucking the toes up on our knees with the strap binding our shins together. And then with those toes tucked, just start to hinge your weight back towards the toes. Some people will feel a stretch immediately. If you want to take your hands to the ground in front of you, if you're already feeling a stretch and it's too much, that's okay. If you want to walk with your hands back, that's okay too. But we're going to start to lower the hips towards the heels. Maybe they'll get there and maybe they won't. What I'm looking for is a stretch in your body. Wherever that stretch is for you, that's where we're looking for the sensation. And then wherever you are, start to breathe. If you happen to be back far enough that you can have a peek at your pinky toes, try to untuck those. So if I was taking a fingerprint analysis of your toes with your yoga mat, I could do that. Breathing in here. This is a really good stretch for the back line, the fascia of the body. Breathing in. Noticing how the sensation starts to maybe become a little bit more elevated the longer we sit here. Can you still maintain relaxation through your belly and breathe all the way down into the base of your lungs, even with that slightly aggravating sensation? Maybe it's not aggravating to you, maybe it feels good. It's a little bit irritating to me. I don't know, do you have any adjectives for how this feels?
It hurts on the bunion.
It hurts.
Aggravating.
Aggravating, yeah, yeah. If anybody has any other suggestions, feel free to comment below how this feels on your toes right now. But we're just trying to open up.
Terrific.
Terrific. Opening up through that part of the body. Let's maybe do some wrist stretches to keep our mind busy. Sometimes when we focus our mind on something else. We're going to take our palms out in front of us. We're going to take the right palm up and over, flip the left palm to clasp the hands, and we're going to take them in towards the body and through, and then out just as far as they will go. Some people will stay here. Others will be able to straighten wherever the stretch is for you. Be mindful that these are small muscles that we're stretching in the forearms and wrists here. If you tend to be at a computer a lot, or you've never done this before, you probably aren't going to get far, and all that we're focusing on is the sensation of the stretch, similar to what's going on in your toes. Go ahead and release and unwind. Do whatever movements feel good in your body, now that those are woken up a little bit. And then we're going to stretch the other side. So take your palms out in front of you, facing each other. Take the left palm up and over. Switch the palms to face each other, interlace the fingers, and then take the hands towards your body and through, opening up the arms, or even just mentally opening up the arms if this is as far as you're getting today. Again, just going to the point where you feel a stretch in your body. Your body is your teacher, not me. And if you're on your hands and knees already, don't worry about it. This is just to keep everybody else busy in the meantime. You could sit in child's pose for this 30 minutes and that would still be yoga. All right, go ahead and unwind. Open up those wrists, move them around. We're just gonna come forward onto our hands, and then we're just gonna slap the tops of our feet on the floor because it feels good after stretching them out. It's easy if you tuck the feet to one side to sit back and undo the strap. If that doesn't work for you, find something that does. And then let's just take the strap off to the side. We're going to do a little bit more with the shoulders, and then we're going to move into some more fluid movements. So I'll get everybody to come onto your hands and knees. Make sure that your wrists are right under your shoulders, and your knees are hip distance right under your hips. Maybe verify by looking back. Oftentimes we tend to think that our hips are a lot wider than they are. And then I want you to breathe a couple of inhales and exhales and start to feel your scapula, your shoulder blades in your back. As you inhale, you should feel them slightly move away from each other. And as you exhale, you feel them slightly move closer to each other. And then I want you to really try to ground into your hands. Spread your fingers nice and wide on your mat and stabilize your shoulders. And then I want you to take your breastbone towards the floor. Keep your shoulders where they are, and just like you felt the scapula, the shoulder blades move together as you were able to breathe. As you inhaled, they moved apart, and as you exhaled, they moved together. I want them to stay in one place. So you know what it feels like when they move. I want you to not move them. Now, as we take the breastbone towards the floor and away from the floor, it'll just be a very tiny movement. Also be aware of your lower back. Lots of people will want to stick their bum in the air and collapse their belly towards the floor to make it seem like they're bringing their breastbone towards the floor, and that's not what I want. I want the pelvis to stay completely neutral as you just bring your breastbone towards the floor. So the lower back and hips are stable. The shoulders are completely stable, and we're just bringing the breastbone towards the floor and away from the floor. It's like mini cat and cow work for your upper back. Trying to access the portion of the vertebrae that runs down along the back of our lungs. Keep your gaze towards the floor. Try to have your neck and head in line with the rest of your body as you just try to move through that little portion of your spine. These are called scapular push-ups, or at least that's what I call them. All right, we're going to stabilize with your spine in a neutral place. And then keep your head looking down as we inhale the right arm up, thumb towards the ceiling. Exhaling, take the hand down. Shift the weight into the right hand, taking the left hand up, thumb towards the ceiling. Exhale and down. We're going to take the right hand and left foot up towards the ceiling, only if you can keep your shoulders and your hips stable. If you start to wiggle around, just stay with moving the arm towards the ceiling. So inhale, right arm, left leg comes up. Everything is stable. Exhale down. Inhale, left arm, right leg. Exhale down. We're going to do this 2 more times here. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. I'm hoping that you're starting to feel, last one, inhaling up, your core start to engage as we're moving the limbs from the body and trying to stabilize the rest of ourselves. Exhale down. We're going to do 3 where we inhale the right arm and left leg up, and then as we exhale, we're going to tap the elbow to knee. That's 1. Inhale, stretching the arm and the foot away from each other, and then exhale to tap the elbow to knee underneath you. If you can't tap, then you're just going to go as close as you can. Reach out, that was 3. And then we're going to exhale down. We're going to inhale up the opposite side. Left arm, right leg. Everything is nice and stable, otherwise you're just sticking with the arm. You're going to tap the elbow to knee and inhale back up for 1. Exhaling to tap, stretching out for 2. And last one here. Tapping and reaching. Go ahead and do a couple of regular cat-cows where you actually bring your belly down towards the floor. So on the inhale, we're going to come into cow, opening up through the shoulders. Try to make more space between your shoulders. And then exhale, try to reach through your spine as high towards the ceiling as you can get. And then inhale to cat. And exhale to cow. One more time. Inhaling up. Exhaling down. We're going to take the hands 1 or 2 palm lengths in front of us, tuck the toes, and then we're going to push the hips up towards the ceiling into our first down dog. Go ahead and start to bicycle the legs if that feels good to you. Doing whatever movements feel right in your body. Make sure your fingers are widely spread. Then we're going to come up to tiptoe, slight bend in the knees. Hop, step, or walk your feet forward between your hands. I'm going to just demonstrate a quick tip. If you have blocks at home and you're having trouble stepping your foot through, if you put your hands on those blocks, come up to tiptoe, that gives you inches of space to step through. I recommend keeping blocks there to help. We're going to inhale to a flat back, trying to keep that spine nice and long. Exhale, fold. Look at your feet. Try to make sure that they're hip distance apart and line up the outer edges of your feet with the outer edges of your mat. We're going to inhale as we roll up through the spine. Sweeping the arms up. Exhaling the hands down. Inhale, sweep the arms up. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale to a flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to high plank. Immediately continue to descend the body, keeping the elbows in, either all the way to the floor or to hover. Inhale up, taking the shoulders away from each other. Exhale to your down dog, either through plank or through all fours. Up to tiptoe, slight bend in the knees. Step the right foot forward. Take the left heel out and up about 2 inches. Keep the pelvis low as you inhale the arms up. Warrior 1. Breathing here. Bend deeply into that front leg. One more breath. Try to straighten through the arms. Send energy through the fingers. We're going to come up onto the ball of that back foot, lifting the heel from the floor, and we're going to sink a little bit deeper into that front knee. Breathing here. Take the right arm down and twist your body towards the right. Breathing here. Take the left arm up, and a slight back bend in the twist. And then we're going to windmill the arms down. Take the back knee towards the floor, and then we're going to do the same thing, taking the right arm up into a twist. And this time, if you feel it's available to you, you can take the back foot up and grab it with the hand. Breathing here. And then inhaling the arm up. Taking both hands to the front of your mat. Step that front foot back. We're going to come into a high plank. Keep the elbows in as you lower down. Inhale to your back bend. Exhale to your down dog. Up to tiptoe, slight bend in the knees. Remember the trick with the blocks under your hands if you need to. Get that left foot forward. Right heel comes out and up. Set the heel down. Keep the pelvis low. Inhale the torso high. Warrior 1 on the opposite side. Breathing here. 2 more breaths. Try to take this front knee and sink it down a little bit more, as long as the knee is over the ankle, not forward of the foot. Make sure that the knee is tracking towards the pinky toe. And then we're going to take that back heel up off the floor, coming to the ball of the foot, and sink down a little bit deeper in a high lunge. Take the left arm and sweep it down to turn towards the left. Breathing here. And then taking the right arm up towards the ceiling into a back bend. Maybe sink down into that front knee a little farther. And then windmill the hands down. Set the back knee down. We're going to take the left arm up again and maybe grab that back foot to come into a little bit deeper of a lunge position, feeling a nice stretch through the right front body in the right thigh. Breathing here, opening up the shoulders to the side of the room. If this feels uncomfortable under your knee, you can always put a cushion or a pillow or a block underneath, or roll up your yoga mat a little bit further. We're going to take that arm back up and down in front of us. Step the front foot back behind us into a high plank. We're going to keep the elbows in as we lower. Inhale to your back bend, either up dog or cobra, and then exhale to your down dog. Up to tiptoe, slight bend in the knees. We're just going to step our feet forward and sit our bottoms down. And we're just going to do some spinal articulation. So we did a little bit of work today with the spine in between the shoulder blades, the thoracic spine. And now I want to just work on a couple curl ups up and down the spine, just to kind of increase the fluidity of the movement there. So I think that we're going to face sideways so that everybody can see us a little bit better. So go ahead and lie down on your back with your knees bent and your feet on the floor. We're going to take your heels in towards your bottom, as much as is comfortable for you, as close as they can get. And then we're going to practice rocking the pelvis. So we set the back of the pelvis onto the floor, and then we're going to rock it forward so we get space between the mat and our low back. And then rock it back towards the floor so the back of the pelvis touches the floor, and there's no space between our lower back and our mat. Our lower back kisses the mat. And then we're going to exhale and rock the pelvis back. Just following your breath, inhaling and exhaling through that rocking motion. Almost as though you had a tail and you were setting your tail down on the floor and then lifting it up again. Feeling your low back as it comes away from the mat and then comes back to touch the mat. With your next inhale, we're going to curl through the pelvis. The lower back comes to touch the mat, and then we're going to take each vertebrae, each bone in our spine away from the mat one at a time as we begin to lift the pelvis up towards the ceiling. Your hands can be on the floor to help give you support. Push weight into your heels as you lift the pelvis up, lifting one vertebrae at a time up towards the ceiling. Breathing here. Go up as high as you can. And then very slowly start to roll back down. Try to feel each individual bone in your body. It should be like a nice slow count. Almost to 10. We could slow it down more, but then you feel like the motion is not continuous because you're constantly stopping. But just see if you can feel your entire spine as you lay it on the floor. Almost as though you had a rope and you're very slowly placing the rope down onto a flat surface. And then let's roll up again. We're going to do that 2 more times. So continuing to roll up through the pelvis, just like you see Chantel doing, taking each vertebrae up off the floor one at a time, noticing how she's sending weight into her heels to shift weight forward into her shoulders as more of her body weight is moved forward. When you're up, then start to roll down. And then we're going to do one more. Lifting all the way up, trying to move, get each vertebrae to move individually from the others. And then this time when you come up, putting your pelvis up as high as it can go, you can interlace your hands behind your back to send more weight into your shoulders and kind of stabilize yourself. And then imagine as though you have me right here where your shins are, placing hands here, and then move your shins towards your shoulders, taking your pelvis up a little further. Make sure that your knees are squeezing in so they're hip distance apart and not further. One more inhale and exhale here. And then as you are ready, releasing the hands and then coming back down. Just trying to wake up through the joints, the shoulders and the back, and get some synovial fluid moving through our body, help us to move a little bit better throughout the day. Chantal, if you want to lay down long on your mat. Everybody, with your knees still bent, I'm going to get you to lift your hips up and over towards the left. And then lengthen through your right leg. So take your right leg straight, just like Chantal's doing, and then take your left knee that's bent over towards the right, over the leg that's long. Try to keep both shoulders on the floor as you come into a twist. Breathing here, looking over that back shoulder so that your neck and your head are twisting along with the rest of your spine. With each inhale, maybe try to grow your spine a little bit longer, and then with each exhale, see if you can twist a little bit further, almost like wringing out a washcloth, trying to eke a little bit more out, trying to gain ability in a place that you maybe didn't have before this moment, trying to get movement in the body. Continuing to breathe, relaxing through the belly. Ideally, we would have a much longer class, and I would keep you in this position for much longer after having worked you much harder. But we only have 30 minutes, so we're working with what we have. And even this little tidbit will give you enough, hopefully, that you'll see difference in your body throughout the day. We're going to inhale and take the left leg back to neutral, and then we're going to take the opposite leg long and twist over to the other side. Once again, making sure that your neck and your head are in line with the rest of your body. Twisting a little bit more with each exhale. Maybe closing the eyes and connecting with the breath. If you can't get your knee all the way to the floor with your shoulders down, you can use a block or a pillow or something underneath your knee just to allow you to give something, put something underneath your body so you can relax into something a little bit more. Inhaling and exhaling here. 2 more long breaths, lengthening the spine with the inhales and twisting or relaxing a little bit further into the twist with the exhales. And then when you're ready, unwinding. Bending through both knees to put your hips back in the middle of your mat, and then laying down for Shavasana. For those of you at home, I actually sit and I'm present with you for Shavasana, so the next YouTube video won't start. We're going to be here for 3 minutes, so go ahead and close your eyes and just relax. The cat has decided to begin our Shavasana by throwing a bead onto the floor. Use any sensations or any noises in your own environment at home to set you into a deeper relaxation. There will always be stuff that goes on in the world around us. What we're able to control is what happens within us. And that's what we're practicing right now. Focus your attention on the inhaling and the exhaling, allowing the belly to fully relax. If thoughts arise, acknowledge them and let them go. And return to the breath. I'll wake you up when it's time. and take a deep inhale, starting to bring your awareness back into your body. Maybe wiggling through your fingers and your toes or reaching up to stretch overhead, whatever feels good to you in this moment. And then as you're ready, roll onto your right hand side and take a breath or two there. Pushing into your hands to lift your body up off the floor, come into a comfortable seat. And thank you for playing with us today. The light in me honors and acknowledges the light in each of you. Namaste. And if you like this yoga short version, go ahead and like or subscribe to my YouTube channel. There's also more information on my website at KarenBarnesYoga.com. Have a great day. Bye.